Good evening, I'm Alex Obradi and you are watching XpressTv News. Today we are talking about the power of nature. When it is unleashed, it can destroy all in its way. That happened last week in America, where the hurricane called Sandy swept the East Coast. Over 60 million people were affected by this storm, and 2 million children from 7 states didn't go to school. Let's see America after Sandy. New Jersey was the most affected by Sandy's powerful destruction. The strong wind swept all in its way and the ocean's water flooded a lot of streets. People's statements are absolutely incredible.
I was scared that I was gonna drown. It was just crazy.
It happened so fast. Within 15 minutes, we had 10 feet of water.
It was coming in, rushing like a rapids. It was just coming. It was just curving around that corner and rushing down.
This man lost his house in the storm, and now he cannot explain his youngest daughter that they have not a place to live.
My youngest daughter yesterday, Faith, said, "Daddy, I want to go home." I told her it's gonna be a while, Mom. She don't understand. She's 6.
Nevertheless, he can be considered a lucky man because his neighbors died when their house fell down on them.
I've been here since day one. This is my community. I was with people throughout the storm itself, and I think the city response has been great.
Most damages and human lives losses were recorded on the coast area. The ocean swept off the land and the sand was taken away into the streets.
This car is completely covered in sand up to the wheel well. This was at the bottom of the ocean before the storm.
Many people died when trees fell down. They couldn't resist the power of the wind and fell down, crushing about the people inside. Authorities helped the community, giving advice for the situation.
If you have a storm coming, take a look up, see which way that tree is leaning towards your house, where it might strike, and stay away from that part of the house during a storm.
President Barack Obama visited New Jersey to check out the gravity of the situation. He didn't hesitate to encourage the local people.
We are here for you, and we will not forget. We will follow up to make sure that you get all the help that you need until you've rebuilt.
People seem to resignate after this trial nature had faced them. They are aware that they should move on so that they don't give up.
Well, there's nothing to do now but just clean up. That's it.
Nevertheless, it is going to be difficult to readapt to normal life as Sandy seriously placed its print on their existence. During the hurricane, petrol pumps were out of order and now hundreds of people stay in line to fill in petrol.
So we're here in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey, where the line of cars waiting for gas stretches out of sight. We're going to find out just how long the line is. Car number 5, 28, the white pickup, number 58.
I got here at 9:59 a.m. and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm by myself. I can't leave the car. I feel like I'm going to faint over here.
102.
People lose their patience so that sometimes it escalates to violence. ABC's correspondent Terry Moran is in an affected area from New Jersey and has more information for us. Good evening, Terry.
Good evening, I'm Terry Moran reporting tonight from the wreckage of the town of Seaside Heights, New Jersey, where the destruction is just biblical. There is water everywhere. This town was nearly swept away into the sea. But more important tonight, there are still dozens, maybe scores of people behind me. They're still stranded in the dark, in the cold, still awaiting rescue in the wake of a storm that ripped homes from their foundations, reduced piers to rubble. We saw this up and down the Jersey Shore today. This community is just one of the hardest hit along the ravaged shoreline of this state, a state where tonight 65% of the people are without power in the dark. And tonight here, where a new danger encroaches.
Not even New York escaped from Sandy's anger. There were several hospitals discharged and the public transport was seriously disrupted. The tube has been closed for several days and over 10,000 flights have been delayed on LaGuardia Airport. New York was also a victim of Hurricane Sandy. Many losses of human lives and significant damages were recorded in here. The public transport was seriously affected. The tube didn't run for several days because the tunnels were flooded. The aerial traffic on LaGuardia Airport was also disrupted. Over 10,000 flights were delayed, and this situation led to huge losses.
For the airlines, Hurricane Sandy is likely to be more expensive than last year's Irene, which cost the airlines $8 to $15 million each.
In order to protect their patients, many hospitals were discharged. They were moved by ambulances to other medical units, but the operation was quite difficult.
We have not experienced anything on this scale.
ABC's correspondent Cynthia McFadden is in front of a hospital which confronted the situation. Good evening, Cynthia.
Good evening. That's right. Well, New York began to wobble back to her feet today. The New York Stock Exchange opened and some buses are running, but I am standing in front of the third major hospital to shut down since the storm. This is the legendary Bellevue. Yesterday, when they began the evacuation, there were 725 patients inside. Tonight, there are still about 200 patients inside, along with 200 members of the National Guard who are helping carry them down, sometimes as many as 18 stories. You know, we began the day here, but we spent much of it in another community, yet another community, where the devastation is still to be fully unpacked. A community just outside of New York, the Rockaways.
Thank you, Cynthia. Meanwhile, America prepares for the general elections on 6th November. The hurricane interfered with the politicians' plans, but Obama says that the elections are not important, but survivor lives are. Let's see more of Barack Obama's statements.
Impact on the election, sir.
I am not worried at this point about the impact on the election. I'm worried about the impact on families, and I'm worried about the impact on our first responders. I'm worried about the impact on our economy and on transportation. The election will take care of itself next week. Right now, our number one priority is to make sure that we are saving lives, that our search and rescue teams are going to be in place, that people are going to get the food, the water, the shelter that they need in case of emergency, and that we respond as quickly as possible to get the economy back on track. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, XpressTv news are ending here. See you soon.